News coming in, gunshots were heard ringing out in Srinagar as security forces exchanged fire with terrorists. An encounter broke out in the Khanyaar area of Srinagar on Saturday morning. According to officials, security forces launched a cordon and search operation in the area early this morning after gunshots could be heard ringing out in the area. Mir Farid is joining me for more on this. Mir, could you give us more details of what the operation is looking like right now, and have any terrorists been have there been any terrorists who've been nabbed till now?
Well, we are at ground zero here in Khanyaar, which has, in fact, woke up to a staccato of machine gun fire, and since intermittent exchange of fire is on. This is Srinagar Old City, and behind me is the location where this encounter is ongoing. Now, since morning, we kept hearing gunshots, intermittent exchange of fire. Our sources say that at least 2 to 3 Lashkar-e-Toiba militants could be hiding inside, and one of them is said to be a top commander, non-local top commander, whom the security forces were tracking from the last at least 2 months. Finally, he has been trapped in a couple of houses, and right now exchange of fire is on. Now, this is a very congested locality of Old Srinagar City, with houses closely knit to one another, and that's also a challenge because if the security forces, as the police and the CRPF go all out, there is a chance of collateral damage. So it's a tricky operation, but these militants are trapped. Now, while this was happening, another operation took place in South Kashmir, to be precise, in the Shangas forest area, where 2 non-local militants have been killed, while 1 more could be trapped. So multiple incidents. Since yesterday, we saw what happened in Magam, where 2 non-local laborers were shot. Then in Bandipora, there was a standoff incident of fire in 14 RR camp. There also counter operations are happening. Then these 2 operations encounters in South Kashmir and Srinagar. So definitely a spurt in activity, and we're seeing security forces going after the militants in a couple of locations, especially if you talk of South Kashmir and here in Khanyaar. Back to you.
Mir, could you also give us a sense of casualties? Is there any count of casualties as yet?
Well, in these 2 operations that are happening simultaneously, one where I'm right now in Khanyaar, this operation, there has been no casualty thus far. As I told you, there are at least 3 Lashkar militants who could be hiding. One is a top non-local commander, and if that's true, then this becomes a very significant operation for the security forces. Then you had another encounter in Shangas, that's a place in South Kashmir's Anantnag district, very close to the forest area. It seems it was a chance encounter where there are at least 3 non-local militants who were trapped by the security forces. They were moving towards the jungle, and in this, 2 have been killed. 2 have been killed there, and then 1 more could be hiding in the area, and their operation continues. So 2 have been killed in these 2 operations. As far as this Khanyaar operation is concerned, still a gunfire on, intermittent exchange of fire. Moments back, there was a massive exchange of fire. There were a couple of blasts as well. So that could tell you that this operation could very well be in its final stages, but still no casualties confirmed. While if you move to North Kashmir's Bandipora district, there is a 3rd operation, though it's not an encounter, but search and combing effort is happening there as well. So as I said, spurt in these incidents in the last 24 hours, and 2 operations, encounters continuing as I speak to you. Back to you.
I'm going to be coming back to you shortly. I want to take our viewers through a comment that's been made by the Defence Minister.
पहले कितनी आतंकवादी वारदातें होती थीं, अब तो बहुत ये कहा जाए कि अब पहले के कंपैरिजन में बहुत ही नगण्य हुई हैं, और हमारी सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस पूरी तरह से सजग हैं, और ऐसी परिस्थितियां वहां पर पैदा होंगी कि फिर आतंकवादी वारदातें पूरी तरह से वहां से समाप्त होंगी और जम्मू कश्मीर का तेजी से डेवलपमेंट भी होगा।
Mir continues to be with me. Mir, if you can hear me, you were telling us about details of this massive operation that's underway in Khanyaar. Just to tell our viewers about the area as such, how densely populated is it? What is the main challenge that the security forces are faced with right now? Please, if you could throw some light on both those aspects.
Well, as far as this area is concerned, or Srinagar in overall, if we talk of the context, this is after a long time we're seeing this kind of an encounter in Srinagar, especially in the old city. Khanyaar and the old city, this place has been peaceful for quite some time now, no resident militancy, but it seems that there was a movement of this non-local commander. He was moving in and out of the area. There was no resident militancy, but then he was coming in, moving out of the district, and this was something that was being tracked by the security agencies and by the police. As far as this area is concerned, it's a very congested area. There are houses very closely knit to one another, and this operation, the location again, it's a house right in the middle of at least 3-4 houses which are very close to this particular house. So there could have been a collateral damage as well. That's really the fear in such operations, because if you go all out, then there is a chance that the neighboring buildings could also catch fire. They could be damaged. So that could be the challenge. Now, as you can see, there are these bulletproof vehicles of the CRPF, of the police. Now, since it's Srinagar, so army does not operate in Srinagar. Army does not really carry out operations in Srinagar. It's only the police and the CRPF who does it. So that's why you have senior officers of the police, including the IG of the CRPF. They are all really in this location, camping here and supervising this operation. But significant for Srinagar because it's happening after a long time. Last encounter probably happened a year back, so it was peaceful. Definitely, it seems the intent was to stay here and probably carry out some big sensational strike. But before they could do it, they were stopped in their tracks by timely intel input, and they have been cornered. As I said, this operation could still take some time because this is not a rural setting. Usually in the villages where houses are not very close to one another, ultimately the house in which militants are hiding is blown up, but that could be difficult here considering, as I said, there could be collateral damage. So that's why they may have to go slow on as far as this operation is concerned. But encounter and multiple operations, one in Anantnag, South Kashmir, where 2 militants have been killed, this one, and then in Panar, Bandipora, where 14 RR camp was targeted, some gunshots fired towards the camp, and since a counter operation, search operation is going on. So spurt in activity of the militants from Badgam to Srinagar, to North Kashmir, to South Kashmir. Definitely in the last at least 2 to 3 days, we've seen incidents happening one after the other, while some have been enforced by the security forces, but definitely there is an intent as far as the militants are concerned to carry out attacks, and while they have managed to do in certain locations, the security forces have had an upper hand as far as these two operations are concerned. Back to you.
Stay on with me as this continues to be a developing story. In fact, we're getting more details at the moment. NC chief downplays terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. Farooq Abdullah calls attacks a bid to destabilize Omar Abdullah government. He says that this is an attempt to create a crisis situation. The attackers, just telling you more about what he said, Farooq Abdullah said that the attackers should be caught, then we will know who is behind these terrorists. They should not be killed. Catch them and ask who is getting all of this done. Why are these incidents happening now? Why were these attacks stopped earlier, and why are they happening now? This is an attempt to destabilize Kashmir. Are there any agencies behind these attacks who are trying to destabilize Omar Abdullah's government? Those are some of the questions asked by Farooq Abdullah. Let me play out that soundbite for you.
एक क्राइसिस पैदा करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. अगर वो पकड़े गए ना जो ये कर रहे हैं, पता लगेगा कौन कर रहा है. मारना नहीं चाहिए उनको पकड़ना चाहिए. और पकड़ के उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि कौन उनके पीछे है।
डॉक्टर फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब इस बात को जानते हैं, ये आतंकवाद, ये बम, बंदूक, पिस्तौल, गोलियां ये पाकिस्तान से आ रही हैं। पाकिस्तान के कब्जे वाले जम्मू कश्मीर में आतंकवादियों के ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स हैं। आईएसआई और पाकिस्तान की सेना आतंकवादियों को ट्रेनिंग दे रही है, ये जग जाहिर बात है। इसमें किस बात की छानबीन करनी है? इसमें कौन सी जांच पड़ताल है?
ये जानते हैं कि एजेंसियों के अच्छे काम के कारण से ही जम्मू कश्मीर में शांति व्यवस्था बनी, लेकिन बीच बीच में कई इस प्रकार की जब घटनाएं होती हैं, वो रजौरी पुंछ में भी हुई हैं, तो उस पर भी किसी पर सवाल नहीं खड़ा किया। अब सरकार है, सरकार का पूरा समर्थन है, किसी ने ये नहीं कहा कि इस उमर अब्दुल्ला की सरकार को डिस्टर्बलाइज किया जा रहा है। पाकिस्तान प्रस्त लोग जो कायरतापूर्ण हरकतें करते हैं, और कोई भी व्यक्ति जहां बाहर कभी बाहरी या अंदरूनी उस प्रकार की कोशिश की जाती है, बाहरी मजदूरों पर अटैक किए गए, लेकिन इस चीज को संभालना सभी का फर्ज है। और फारूकुल्लाह साहब जिम्मेवारी के साथ 3 बार मुख्यमंत्री रहे हैं, उनके ऐसी बातें नहीं करनी चाहिए।
Back to Mir, who continues to be with us. Mir, you were telling us about the intricacies of the ongoing operation. What I want to understand from you, does this mean panic for the locals given the location of the incident?
Well, yes, definitely. It's panic for the locals because, as I said, this area has been peaceful, no resident militancy, and all of a sudden, the area wakes up to staccato of machine gun fire. And since this area has been absolutely sealed, we are also not very far away from the encounter site. But yes, as far as locals are concerned, this area has been this periphery has been sealed. So this is new. And while we have been showcasing the kind of tourism Kashmir has been witnessing, the peace, but definitely in the last some time that peace has been shattered, be it Gotpatri, Gulmarg, be it Bandipora, be it Magam yesterday, where 2 non-locals were targeted, and now in Srinagar, in the heart of Srinagar, you have an encounter. While the security forces will definitely see this as a success, but the very fact is that the militants managed to come to this particular place, they managed to form an hideout, and probably if they would have gone unnoticed for some more days, it could have led to a big major attack in Srinagar. So questions for the security agencies to really ponder upon. But as far as this operation is concerned, definitely they have stopped them in their tracks in the Khanyaar area. It's a very congested area with houses closely knit to one another. And as I said, it is because of that there could be collateral damage. Now, that's why this operation could take some time, because they'll go in cautiously. They'll try to really basically end their resistance, but at the same time ensure that there is no damage to the nearby houses, because if that's the case, this could really lead to damage to a larger locality, because if there is a fire, it could spread. As I said, these are very closely knit houses. So all these challenges remain for the security agencies, but the bigger question is what really has led to this sudden spurt in activity as far as militant incidents are concerned, be it attack on non-locals, be it attack on army in Bodpatri or other incidents. And these are happening at multiple locations. That could also be a cause of worry, because it happens simultaneously, be it Magam, where 2 non-locals were targeted. Then in Bandipora, there was an incident of standoff fire against an army camp, and there a counter operation is happening. Then in the Shangas area of Anantnag, where in a chance encounter, 2 militants were killed on the foothills of a forest, and there also operation is continuing. So all these questions remain unanswered. This definitely is a surge, a push as far as militancy is concerned, because till elections, last 1 year has been very peaceful. Elections were very peaceful, and everyone thought that situation has definitely come under control. But now, questions posed, and definitely needs a re-strategizing effort as far as the security agencies are concerned. They would need to go back to the drawing board. But right now, the focus is to end these operations in a successful way, especially the one here in Khanyaar, in the heart of Srinagar city. Back to you. And as I speak to you, again, firing has started here. One can hear the staccato of machine gun fire behind me. Firing has restarted, and intense exchange of fire, I can tell you. Some blast as well, but definitely firing has restarted at the encounter location in Srinagar, in Khanyaar. could be hearing behind me, gunfight has restarted, and it seems last 2 to 3 hours the push has been to really carry out some kind of a final assault and end the resistance put forth by these militants. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mir, for bringing us all those details.